Okay, once again, I feel it necessary to make a video about computing and how it's a disaster because people won't leave things alone. I'm writing a document using Microsoft Word, and the cursor, the little arrow thing, or the little capital I shaped looking symbol that you use to select text, keeps appearing and disappearing because some idiot was like, oh, when people are typing, they won't want to see the cursor, so I'll make it disappear. And the function to stop that stupid idea being enacted on the computer doesn't work, and it hasn't worked, as far as I can see, through the research I've conducted, for decades. Okay. Moreover, when you are selecting things and typing things, the cursor will change from an arrow to the text selection symbol to also. The last thing you want when you're typing or writing something is stuff dancing around on the page. It's irritating. Imagine if you were writing and a spider crawled across the page. You would brush the spider off because it's irritating. It's distracting. This stuff is so simple and basic, but the absolute idiots who design this stuff don't take that into account. They're like, oh, I'm going to be Mr. Helpful. I'll put something in place that might help someone in the realms of in my imagination. Leave things alone. Okay? Just leave them alone. If you have to offer an option, offer it as an option. Don't make it standard. Don't change everything because you've suddenly had this epiphany, or most people seem to want it that way. The problem with that is that most people essentially are stupid. Anyone who is honest in this world will tell you that most people are essentially stupid. Okay? They just do what they're told, they don't think, and if they're challenged to think, they don't even bother. So if you base your design upon what most people seem to want, you'll end up with rubbish, which is what designers are doing nowadays. Oh, we have to please everybody, instead of thinking for themselves. I draw this back to feminism again, because the idea of feminism is try to please everybody. Yeah? Instead of being like, no, actually what needs to be done is this. And if someone wants it differently, leave them the option to have it that way. This situation that we have in the world today is garbage. It's complete garbage. Nothing works because everyone's obsessed with trying to please everyone and they're not thinking. They're using statistics to try to run everything. You can't run anything that way. There is always the human intelligence, which is like, no, actually, I prefer to do it this way because. No, we'll make it so that everyone has to do it that way. It's stupid. So I'm writing a big document, right? And every single page, there are instances wherein I have to literally take the cursor and physically move it to the outside of the screen because it keeps changing in response to what I'm doing. I don't want that. No one in their right mind would want that. And if they did, fine, but make it an option. This moronic design ethic whereby you change the entire thing from one direction, oh, people are complaining, let's change the entire thing to something else, makes no sense. It makes no sense at all. If someone doesn't like it a certain way, give the option. And don't put it under accessibility, implying there's something wrong with that person. Just put it as an option, like anyone else, like we always used to do. Oh, we're obsessed with accessibility. Oh, everyone has to be included. This nonsense. You can't run anything that way. Panicking about upsetting people. Make it work for them and presume some level of intelligence. And if not, give them an instruction manual. Don't presume that everyone won't read an instruction manual. The reason an instruction manual exists is so that people, if they do need to figure out how something works, have it available. Okay? Don't presume that they won't read an instruction manual. Yes, most people essentially don't bother thinking, but if you provide them with information, they will look at it if they need to. Yeah, it might tax them. Oh, I've got to read this. Fine, let them read it, but they will read it. Don't presume that they won't bother and ruin your software or whatever product it is you're producing as a result. This is blatantly obvious to anyone with any intelligence. I'm sick to death of using what should be a functioning system, which to my mind used to function. Years ago, I had no problem with it. I didn't have all these problems with these things. They were basic and they functioned. But ever since feminism has been stuffed into everyone's lives unnecessarily and unwantedly, all these other nonsensical outcomes have happened. Oh, we've got to put this in. Oh, because shit, what the hell's wrong with you people? Things used to work. It was that simple. Things used to work. Things were rational, they worked. The moment you try to run things using emotion, you've ruined it. Because you can't please everyone. Not with one set of functions. Give them opportunities to do their own thing with your product. Options, optional extras. Don't change the entire product from this way to that way and then deny the people who were using it quite well the opportunity to use it the way they were using it. Repeatedly, this is what's happening with software. To the point where, resentfully, I would imagine, some companies are like, well, okay, let's give them the opportunity to have the old way back. That's the impression you get, that they resentfully offer you that option. When you're like, oh, thank God they've given me that option back. You feel that they're not listening, they don't care, and they're so obsessed with themselves, they're so egotistical that they're just like, yeah, we do things the way we want to do them, and everyone will follow. Oh, that's not the way things used to be designed. They used to be designed based upon, okay, what's the right thing to do? What's going to be helpful to the customer, all right, or the user? Okay, if that's a problem, we'll offer them the opportunity because we presume that they will actually do some research if they need to. We'll give them the opportunity to actually have that information available. As much effort is being put in as possible nowadays to try to make people stupider. Yes, most people might be already kind of non-thinking, which is another problem. I would suggest that if you educate people properly and train them to think, then they'll start thinking for themselves and then they'll be able to cope with things. I mean, I envisage, honestly, a society wherein people do think more. They are trained to think when they are young. I was trained to think when I was young, by my parents, thankfully, and by certain elements of the educational system. They wouldn't just hand it to me on a plate. I was challenged to think for myself. If you give everything to everyone on a plate, which is the kind of communist socialist ideal, oh yeah, make them dependent, they just become stupid. And this is the problem that we're facing. Now, companies are like, oh well, we'll presume that no one's ever going to recover from stupidity and start using their brains, and the problem just gets worse. I don't want to be making a video about this. I want to be making videos going, wow, the world is great. People are thinking for themselves, things are created that work and function for them. But this rot has crept in through lying and cheating and deceiving. And the number one lie, as far as I can see, is feminism. Because it makes everything that used to work not work anymore. Even logic and reason isn't working anymore. The family isn't working. Women are buying little dogs and pushing them around in prams instead of having children. Do you understand how ridiculous that is? They're treating little dogs as if they are babies, as if they are children. It is ridiculous. And men are walking around pushing the pushchair with the child in, if they do have children. I'll tell you what, I haven't seen it yet, but I will see a man pushing a dog in a pushchair. At that point, I will stop what I'm doing and I will burst out laughing in the street. That's where it's going. You ever seen the film Demolition Man? This is the nonsense that's being created. It's a farcical world of faffery and nonsense. And it's got to be fixed. It's got to be fixed. We can't go on like this. It's nonsense. It has to be fixed. The world I grew up in, even though I was a youngster, I could see it made sense. In my father's generation, things made sense. It wasn't perfect, but at least you knew where you stood. You could say, that is a load of crap, and it was. Without someone going, oh, you can't say that. This is crazy. We have to fix this situation. It has to be completely and utterly wiped away, done away with, and we need to go back to reality. Okay? That's how it is. Another thing that bothers me, and you can have your own opinion on this, I really don't care, right? Is promoting, and I've said this before, promoting women's involvement in what we call extreme sports, right? You'll get girls who will do that kind of thing, who, if they weren't pushed into it, probably wouldn't bother with it. But some women are quite open-minded in this kind of thing, and they'll be like, okay, I'll try that. And then all of a sudden the focus is put on this girl. Look, she's an example of what women must be doing. And then you get other women who are like, okay, I'll try that as well. I don't like seeing it. You can say what you like. I don't care. I don't like seeing it as a man. I don't like seeing women put themselves in rough and tumble situations. I think it is dangerous, and it puts the responsibility on the men, and it makes you feel liable. When I see a woman horrifically injured in some way through doing this kind of thing, all I see is a load of men around her who ought, in my opinion, to be feeling responsible. Because ultimately, as a man, our responsibility is to protect women. So if we're watching her do this ridiculously dangerous thing, we're culpable for the outcome. I don't like seeing it. And feminism, which is a big label that gets stuck over everything to try and stop people thinking, would tell you, you can't say that, men and women are the same. It's garbage, it's bullshit. I can't swear in this video, but it's nonsense. Bullshit. It's nonsense. That doesn't mean that women must never ever do anything that's risky. If a woman, honestly and truthfully, if a woman finds it absolutely burning in her heart that she wants to do something like that, really, I mean, I guess go for it. But the effect it has, she should understand the effect it has on the men around her. It's a real effect. It's the same as the effect of having women wearing really, really revealing clothing has on the men around. You can't pretend it doesn't have an effect. Oh, well, they should have control. Yeah, but you're basically you're bringing into being a particular reaction from the men in the vicinity. I mean, that's the whole reason that women wear revealing clothing. Otherwise, who are they revealing it to? The whole point is that the feminine form is designed to attract men. So you can't tell me that's not the case. Anyway, all these things are rational observations. Things are not working properly because people aren't designing things properly, because they're ignoring rules that make things work, and they're trying to please everyone. Can't remember what the second point I made was, but yeah, what I see around myself is a joke, and it's got to be fixed. You know, all I want to do really is write a document. I don't want things flashing up all over the place. I don't want to see men pushing dogs around in prams. What the hell's going on? It's garbage.